Okay, let's start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah. We're going to talk about fasting, Ramadan, and some of the rulings, spirituality, and the importance or significance of Ramadan and fasting, inshallah. So, inshallah, we'll be starting with some of the important things we'll talk about. We'll talk about the definition of fasting. We'll mention the intention of fasting, what are the liked actions that should be done in Ramadan, the disliked actions while in fasting, what are the invalidators that breaks our fast, some of the things that do not invalidate our fasts, frequently asked questions, the people who are exempt from fasting, the du'as of fasting. And if we have time, inshallah, we'll add some of the spirituality in fasting and significance and virtues of fasting as well, inshallah. So to start with definition of fasting, we just 1 second, let me set up this. So what is the definition of fasting? The fasting literally means to abstain. So, no. Fasting literally means to abstain. So fasting literally means al-imsak or abstain. In terms of Sharia, it means to abstain from food, drink, and spousal intercourse between husband and wife from dawn till sunset, and with the intention of gaining proximity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So mainly stay away from food, drink, and physical relations. And also it has to added with the intention from to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Now, who has to fast? Fasting in the month of Ramadan is obligatory for every adult, male or female, who is physically and mentally healthy and is not a traveler. So the people who are adult, male, female, and physically and mentally healthy and is not a traveler, obviously one of the main condition is there has to be a Muslim. So it's not obligatory upon a non-Muslim. Children before they reach their puberty are excused. Individuals with mental illnesses are excused. Individuals with a illness deemed by a doctor that prevents fasting are excused. So anyone unable to do that, they are excused from fasting. Now, second important thing in fasting is intention. So when to make intention? This is one of the important question. We'll see that general principle, intention has to be made before each fast for it to count. So before we start off our fasting, intention has to be made. So it is necessary to make an intention every day for each fast. So some scholars said, if you say that, I will fast the whole month of Ramadan, this is not enough. For every day, you have to have an intention that I'm fasting today or I'll be fasting tomorrow. If a person does not make an intention but still refrains from food, drink, and intercourse, the fast will still not be valid because he did not have intention. Without intention, if you stay away from food, drink, and intercourse, the fast will not be valid. Niyyah is intention, yeah. Without intention, it will not be valid. Now, when to make intention? What is the time for intention? The time for intention starts from Maghrib of the night before. So, for example, you are fasting on the Monday, your time for intention will start from the Sunday evening, from the Maghrib of Sunday, and last till Dawhat al-Kubra, which is half day of the following day. Meaning, for a fasting of Ramadan, you can make intention from the Maghrib the night before up until midday of the following day. Meaning, if you are fasting on Monday, so up till midday of Monday, you can make intention anytime in between that. However, for some of the fasting that you cannot make intention after Fajr. For Qada fasting, you cannot make enough intention after Fajr. For any man, if you vow for a fasting, and if you want to, it not specified fasting for a vow. For example, you said, if I get a job, I will fast one day. However, that day you will fast, you have to. Sorry. No. It's for another type of fast. So, for example, you made a vow that I will fast if I get the job. I'll do one fast. Now, that day you make that fast, you have to make intention before Fajr. You cannot make in the morning. It has to be before Fajr. Similarly, if you missed a fasting in Ramadan and you're making Qada, make-up fast, that also has to be before Fajr. Now, in the morning, you wake up and say, oh, I missed a Fajr last year. I'll make up today. It will not be valid. It has to be before Fajr. For Ramadan fasting, for Nafal fasting, for any specified vow fasting, you can make intention up until midday. So you wake up in the morning, you did not eat or drink anything, or you did not do anything that will invalidate your fast, and you make intention after that, it will be valid. Okay, so example, Ahmed wants to fast on a Tuesday. When can he make his intention? So he can make intention from Maghrib up until Dawhatul Kubra, midday. Now, how do we find the midday? Now, Dawhatul Kubra, or exactly midday, is the time midway between the beginning time of Fajr Salah and the beginning time of Maghrib Salah. So if you need to see when the Fajr begins today and when the sun sets today. So you have to count all the hours and minutes, and divided by 2, the halfway, it would be the midday. So from Fajr beginning till the Maghrib, not sunrise. You need to understand that. From dawn till sunset, not sunrise to sunset. So it has to be from Fajr start until Maghrib. For example, if the Fajr starts at 4 a.m., Maghrib starts at 9 p.m., noon time would be 12 p.m. Exactly midday would be 12 p.m. So 8.5 hours is exactly, sorry, 8.5 hours is exactly half day. So 12:30 p.m. would be the midday. Okay. Now we are going through some frequently asked question while we are talking about the intention. Ahmed woke up to partake in suhoor. However, he forgot to make intention. Will his fast be valid? So he woke up before Fajr, he ate his food, however, did not make the intention for fasting. Is his fast be valid? Answer, yes, it will be suffice as an intention, because he woke up, had suhoor, this is the intention. Isn't it? You didn't have to say that I'm fasting today. Okay, so because you woke up to fast, you woke up to suhoor, yeah, is niyyah, niyyah is done. Niyyah is done. Similarly, performing the Tarawih Salah will also serve as intention. So you are performing Tarawih Salah night before, you know that I'm fasting tomorrow, inshallah. It is enough for you. You don't have to read the intention, at the time of suhoor, or even forgot to say that or mention that. Still, your fast is valid because it's in your heart, in your mind. Now, while in fasting, what are the liked actions that we should do while we are fasting? So there is a hadith, Sayyiduna Abu Zarra radiallahu anhu reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, 3 things are from the characteristics of the prophethood: to hasten to open the fast, to delay suhoor or pre-dawn meal, and to place the right hand over left hand in salah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned these are the 3 things that is sign of the prophethood, and it's a characteristic of the prophethood. All the prophets is to do that. They are that to hasten to open the fast, meaning to have iftar. Whenever Maghrib time comes, sun sets, it is sunnah not to delay from eating. Okay, so sometimes if someone says, "Oh, I am very capable of, so I fasted for 19 hours, I can do 1 more hour." No, it is not sunnah. It'll not get reward. Otherwise, it will be opposite. The sunnah is whenever it is done. Link yeah. So whenever the Maghrib time comes, it is sunnah to fast immediately, not make delay. So especially some of our people are engaged in business, restaurant takeaways, so they do not get chance to have the iftar. It will be sunnah for them as well to try to eat as soon as possible or immediately when the sun sets, even a date, it will be sufficient. Also to delay suhoor, meaning the sahri should be eaten as late as possible before fajr. Now, as late as possible, not midnight or early night. And also, some people would think that, oh, I am capable of fasting without having suhoor or without sahri. However, the sunnah is to eat suhoor, even a date. It's rewarding, and Rasulullah mentioned there's a barakah in the food of suhoor. And the third thing the Prophet mentioned, that to put right hand on top of our left hand while in salah. So it's the sunnah of the old prophets to put our right hand on top of our left hand when we stand in salah. Another hadith said, Zayd bin Thabit radiallahu anhu relates that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would stand up to offer salah after eating his food, and the timing between the start of Fajr and when the Prophet ﷺ would stop eating was equivalent to the recitation of 50 verses. So as long as it takes to recite 50 verses, this is the time Rasulullah ﷺ would leave after eating before Fajr, meaning he would delay his suhoor as much as possible and leave only a few minutes before the Fajr time comes in. So this is that meaning is delaying the suhoor as much as we can. Another hadith, Sayyidina Anas radiallahu anhu reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would break the fast with fresh dates before performing salah. So for iftar, before performing Maghrib salah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would break his fast whenever Maghrib time comes in with fresh dates. If there were no fresh dates, then he would break the fast with dried dates. And if there were no dried dates, then he would take a few sips of water. So it's another sunnah of breaking our fast is, we should not take the samosa fast. You get it? So no, not samosa fast. Fast you take fresh date. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would break his fast with a fresh date. If you cannot find a fresh date, then you can have dried dates. And if you cannot find dried dates either, then you start with water. Then you have something else. By this, you will maintain the sunnah of breaking the fast, the way Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. Now, some of the actions that are disliked or makruh in Ramadan or in fasting, it will not break your fast. However, it is makruh. So chewing gum. So if anyone have chewing gum, having meaning put in your mouth, but you do not swallow it or do not take the taste inside, it is makruh. It is disliked. Similarly, rubber, plastic, or any items put into the mouth that is not eaten, even koyan or something just put into the mouth, it is makruh, disliked. You should not do that. Another thing is to collect one's saliva in the mouth and then to swallow it, trying to quench thirst. So you are very thirsty, you are very hot in the heat day. What do you do to quench your thirst? You gather saliva in your mouth and then you drink it or swallow it. It will be makruh. You should not do that. It will not break your fast, but it is makruh to intentionally do that. If anyone, for example, I'm talking, saliva is gathering in my mouth, then I swallow it, it's not a problem. However, intentionally to quench thirst, if you do it, it will be makruh. To delay a bath that has become obligatory intentionally until after Fajr time. So you can start your fasting although you had ghusl fard upon you. However, it is makruh to delay your ghusl up until after Fajr. So it is better or sunnah to do your ghusl before Fajr, and then if you have ghusl obligatory for the upon you. If not, if you cannot do, for example, if someone had a ghusl obligatory and they were sleeping and they woke up in the morning. Now, is their fasting valid? Yes, fasting is valid. You wake up and you do your ghusl and you pray your Fajr prayer, and it will not affect your fasting. And fasting is valid. However, the better way is that you do ghusl before Fajr. Intentionally, you should not leave your ghusl up until after Fajr. To use toothpaste or tooth powder to clean one's teeth. It is permitted to use a miswak of any permissible fresh branch or root, which is a tooth stick. So it is makruh or disliked to use toothpaste or tooth powder while brushing your teeth. It will not break your fast, but it will be makruh. However, if toothpaste or tooth powder goes into your throat, it will break the fast. It will break the fast. So this is why to become cautious and not to fall into this risk. It is makruh not to use it at all. So you should not use it at all. Some other makruh, to complain of hunger and thirst. So while you're fasting, some people they do it. Oh, I'm hungry, I cannot bear the day. Oh, I'm feeling so thirsty. We should not do that. Because fasting is a test given by Allah, is showing our love and patience for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we should not complain of hunger or thirst. We should remain happy and pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, showing our joy and happiness for that occasion. To gargle, to take the water too much up the nostrils when cleaning the nose. So while you're fasting, we should not take too much water into our nose. We should take only the whatever necessary while doing wudu or ghusl. However, we should not use too much water into the nose. Similarly, to gargle more than necessary. When you do ghusl or wudu, we should gargle. However, we should not do more than necessary. It can because of the risk, the water can go inside. To quarrel, argue, use a filthy or indecent words. These are always not allowed to do. However, in Ramadan, in fasting, it is more sinful to use filthy or indecent words, and also to quarrel or argue while in fasting, because you are showing your patience, you are fasting, you are showing your love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should not do anything that shows otherwise, that I'm hungry and this way I'm angry. Should not be like this. Yeah. You should be that I'm happy and pleased and calm because I'm fasting. Even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, while you are fasting, if anyone comes and argue with you, you say, Ana imru'un sa'im. Ana imru'un sa'im. I am a fasting man. I cannot argue with you. To backbite, tell a lie, and swear are sinful acts even when one is not fasting. Therefore, they become even worse when fasting. So backbiting, telling a lie, or using swear word, these are haram always, and while fasting it is more sinful. Now we're going to talk about the things that invalidate our fasts. So the things we mentioned just now, these are makruh or disliked actions. It will not break our fast, however it will reduce our rewards. Now we're going to mention some of the things that will invalidate our fasts. So what is the criteria for an invalidator? An invalidator must meet all of the following criteria. It has a visible body. So whatever we put into our stomach or our mouth or inside, it has to be a visible something. Invisible, what are the invisible? For example, air. So if you stand up in the wind and do and have all the air in your mouth, it will not affect your fast, because air does not have a visible body. So visible body, smoke has visibility. Things like this, water or things like this will have a visible body, and it will break fast. it can reach the stomach. So one of the condition, it has to reach the stomach, and it enters the body via the mouth or nose or rear passage. So natural channels, either through mouth, nose, or rear passage. If it goes through differently, it will not break our fast. So invalidators are of two types. Whenever a fasting become invalidate, there can be two ways to make it up. One, invalidators that necessitate only a qada, and invalidators that necessitate qada and kafara. So sometimes our fast become invalid and we have to do only qada, meaning one fast for each fast, breaking up one fast. And sometimes you have to do qada as well as kafara. So we'll be discussing this inshallah now. So invalidators that necessitates a qada only, meaning if you break a fast, you have to do only one fast. What are the things and how is that? So fast can break three ways. Either forgetfully, meaning unknowingly, or you can do something unknowingly, forgetfully, mistakenly or accidentally, which means is accidentally, or purposely, meaning intentionally. You can drink or eat or do something that break our fasting. It can be done either three ways: forgetfully, which is unknowingly; secondly, either mistakenly, or meaning accidentally, or purposely, meaning intentionally. So what is forgetfully? A person is not conscious of their fast and forgetfully does something to break their fast. For example, you woke up in the morning, you found the juice on front of your table, you just drank it. You did not remember that you are fasting. You did not remember you're fasting, you drank it, or as usual, regular routine, you woke up and you found some cereal, you got milk and put cereal in and ate the cereal. It will not break your fast because you did it unknowingly or forgetfully. So you don't remember. You don't have to do qada, you don't have to do kafara, nothing. Your fast is valid. You're valid. Mistakenly or accidentally is if a person conscious of their fast and then by mistake or accident breaks their fast. By mistake or accidentally break their fast. For example, you are doing wudu, you are fasting, you are doing gargling, and by mistake water goes into your throat. Or accidentally water goes in your throat. Or you came outside and you're looking into the sky, suddenly a raindrop came and put into your mouth, and this water goes into your throat. Your fast will break. It's accidentally. However, it will, or you're brushing your teeth with, for example, toothpaste, and the paste went into your throat. It will break your fast. However, you don't have to do kafara, only qada. So only qada. So you do only one fast afterwards. And anytime if a fast breaks because of an accidental mistake or anything that breaks a fast and require only qada, after breaking the fast, you are not allowed to eat until sunset. You are not allowed to eat or drink anything until sunset. You need to remain like fasting person. So for example, you are doing wudu and you doing gargling and water went into your mouth, so it broke your fast. That doesn't mean that I can go and have a burger now. No, you can't eat or drink until sunset. You need to stay away from not eating and drinking, and you have to make up after Ramadan. You make up one fast for each fast. Now, what is purposely or intentionally? If a person is conscious of their fast and purposely breaks their fast. So a person, he knows I'm fasting. I know I am healthy enough to bear my fasting, but a little bit hungry or just very hungry and go and eat a meal or something. It is known as intentionally, purposely breaking fasting. By this, your fast will be invalid and you have to do qada and kafara. Qada and kafara. So we'll mention what is kafara. However, if anyone does anything that breaks fast, eating, drinking, or a physical relation with their spouses, it will break the fast, and they have to do qada and kafara if they do it intentionally and by knowingly. Okay, so what are the invalidators that necessitates a qada only? We're going to mention things that break our fast, and only a qada will be necessary, not kafara, meaning one fast for each broken fast. So if a person eats or drinks mistakenly whilst conscious of fasting, his fast will break and will have to do qada only. So number one, we mentioned, if anyone does by mistake doing wudu, water went in, or someone has come and force you to eat it, it will break your fast and you do only qada. Another, eating or drinking because one thought Maghrib entered but it did not. So in the sunset time, Maghrib time, you sat with your food, waiting for Maghrib time. You checked your time and you thought Maghrib has come. You ate it. Later you realize, no, I did at the wrong time. Maghrib was 2-3 minutes later. So it broke your fast. Your fast became invalid. You have to make it up afterwards. You have to make it up only one fast after Ramadan. Similarly, if someone is eating suhoor before Fajr and they thought there is still time until Fajr starts, they kept eating. Later they found out they ate after Fajr starts. So they've been eating. They found out that the time was wrong, or they checked the wrong time, and they were eating after Fajr starts. It will invalidate their fast, and they have to make it up afterwards. Again, if anyone does it and find out that they did it wrong, they are not allowed to eat or drink whole day. They're not allowed to eat or drink a whole day. They have to go like this until sunset, and after Ramadan they have to make up this fast. Eating or drinking forgetfully, and thereafter thinking that the fast is broken, to deliberately eat and drink again. So you woke up, you do not remember your fasting, you ate something or drank something, okay? And after drinking, you say, oh, what did I do? I broke my fast. Then you kept eating and drinking. It will invalidate your fast, and you have to make it up. Now, when we ate first time, it did not break your fast because you did it by forgetfulness. You did not remember your fasting. So whenever you remember that I'm fasting, if you have any food in your mouth, immediately throw it out. You do not swallow anymore. So you are eating and you remember that I'm fasting. Immediately you throw it out. You do not eat anymore, and you spit it out. That's it. Your fasting is okay. It did not break your fast. However, after remembering, you thought, oh, my fast has broken, because you did not have knowledge. You thought it broke your fast and you kept eating, it will make qada. However, if you has this knowledge, if he has this knowledge that after eating forgetfully, if I eat again, it will break my fast, and you kept eating, then you have to do kafara, because you're doing it deliberately, intentionally now. Okay. The things still make qada only through our mouth or throat. Swallowing a pebble or other items that people who don't typically eat. So, for example, a leaf from a tree. People does not eat it. So you take a leaf and eating it. It will break your fast, and it invalidate your fast, and you have to do qada only. However, for a Bengali people or Pakistani people, they eat pan. Do you know pan? The people eat with after food or sometimes. This pan is again, it's a leaf from a tree plant. However, it is eaten as a normal diet. So people eat it. So if anyone eats pan while fasting, it will break their fast, and qada and kaffara both will be obligatory, because it is a food for this culture and people. Similarly, for example, salad we have lettuce leaves or some things like this that is eaten regularly or eaten as a diet, as a food. If anyone eats it intentionally, it will break their fast, and it will make the qada and kaffara both obligatory. Swallowing water by accident when gargling for wudu or ghusl, with the exception of water that remains in the mouth. So as we mentioned that when doing wudu, if water goes accidentally. However, if you do wudu and you spit out all the water from your mouth while you are gargling, and then you find the moisture, you find feel moist in your tongue or in your throat, that's okay. This does not, you don't have to, dry out all the water from your mouth after wudu. No, this is, it will make you thirsty. So, you do kulli or gargling, put the water out, that's enough. Okay, you don't have to, try harder to dry out your tongue. Swallowing blood that exists from the gums and is more than the saliva. So sometimes people, have blood from their gums when they brush their teeth or they do, eat something hard or do gargle. So you are not allowed to swallow this blood. It will break your fast. So what do you have to do? How do you know that it's how much? So if you spit out and you see the reddish is more than the whitish, that means this has blood more than the saliva. And if the amount of saliva more than the blood, then it's okay. Okay. Similarly for wudu as well. If you after wudu you see blood on your saliva, if it is more than the than your saliva, it will break your wudu. If it is less than your saliva, that will not break your wudu. Swallowing toothpaste or mouthwash. If anyone swallow toothpaste or mouthwash while fasting, it will break their fast, and you have to do qada. Vomiting and thereafter thinking that the fast is broken, to deliberately vomit again. So someone vomited and they thought, oh my, he vomited maybe because of illness unintentionally, and they thought, oh, my fast already broken. This was the point. I need to vomit again. I want to vomit more, and he vomits more intentionally. It will break their fast, and qada will be obligatory. However, we'll talk about vomit more, inshallah. The nose. Water used to clean the nose for wudu or ghusl reach the throat or the brain, it will invalidate the fast, and you have to do qada. So if someone splashed the water so hard that it goes through your system to your throat, it will break your fast. If you find it in your throat or it just go to the brain, it will break your fast, and qada will be obligatory. So this is why when you do ghusl or wudu, we should be careful while splashing or throwing the water through our nostrils. Inhaling medicine into the nostrils. So if anyone inhale any medicine, it will break their fast, okay, through the nose. Inhaling smoke by one's doing on the condition one's body doesn't benefit from it. So, you are not smoking. However, someone is smoking next to you, and you go next to them and do this, while in fasting. If you inhale the smoke deliberately, intentionally, it will break your fast. Now, the people who cook or do cooking, how they do. Again, now while this smoke is going, now they are working in that smoke is going to the nose or ear or eyes, mouth. That's fine. However, if they take it intentionally, if they inhale it intentionally, it will break their fast. It will break their fast. So the smoke is going and do this, it will break their fast. Now, these are the things that we mentioned that will break our fast, and a qada will be obligatory. So while we mentioned about cooking, now if a woman or someone is cooking and they have to they have to taste or check the salt, how would they do? Now, if a woman, for example, is cooking and her husband is very, very harsh person, if the salt is not right, he'll be very angry, he'll be upset, things like this, then she is allowed to taste the salt. So what they do, she put a little bit of curry or soap in the mouth and just taste in the tongue and then spit it out. She is not allowed to swallow it. If allows, it will break the fast. Similarly, for chef, people who work in curry industry, restaurant or takeaway, and if they have to check the salt, they will be allowed to taste that with their tongue, but they have to spit it out, and they're not allowed to swallow it. So it will not break their fast. However, it is better not to do that. if they can. If they can, for example, if you're experienced chef, he may not. He knows how much to give. It be perfect for him. Could be, yeah. Now, the things that will invalidate our fast, and qada and kaffara, both will be compulsory. Now, if anyone purposely breaks their fast, so adult, healthy, sane person, fasting the mid of the day, he knows he's fasting, he goes and drink or eat, or has a physical relation with the spouses, it will break their fast, and qada and kaffara both will be obligatory. Qada, both, and kaffara. Through eating, drinking, or engaging in intercourse in the month of Ramadan. In the month of Ramadan. So if it is other than Ramadan, if anyone is fasting anything, either it could be a qada fasting of Ramadan, it could be a nafal fast, it could be a sunnah fast, or it could be a wajib fast, and they, in the midday or intentionally in the daytime, they break their fast, they will not need to do kaffara. Okay, only qada. Qada means make up only one fast. Kaffara is not needed. Kaffara is only for the fasts of Ramadan. Only for the fasts of Ramadan in the month of Ramadan. How to fulfill kaffara? To fulfill the kaffara, number one was to free a slave. To free a slave. Now we don't have slavery system now, so we don't have that option. Second option is to fast 60 days consecutively. 60 days consecutively. If you break a fast without any excuse, without being ill or anything like this, then the kaffara is you have to fast 60 consecutive days without a break in between. So if not kept consecutively, a person will have to start all over again. So someone, he broke a fast intentionally while he was healthy and everything. Now he's starting doing kafar after Ramadan. He fasted for 58 days. On the 59th day, he broke his fast. He has to restart again all over. Another 60 days. He has to restart again because it did not complete 60 days. However, if a woman experiences menstruating during kafara, she will not have to start all over again. For a woman, it is excused whenever a monthly time comes, menstruating time comes, they can miss those days and they resume or restart after these days, and they'll be continuing. They don't have to start all over again. They don't have to start all over again. So this is for healthy people, those who can do 60 fast without a hardship. However, if someone is genuinely incapable, either he's very, very old or he is very ill, that he cannot fast 60 days consecutively, for that person, the third option is to feed 60 poor people 2 meals for a day. 60 poor people 2 meals for a day, or to feed one person 2 meals for 60 days. Either it should be 120 meals. Either way, 60 poor people 2 meals a day, or one person 2 meals for 60 days. Now this can only be done if a person is incapable of fasting 60 consecutive days due to an illness where there is no hope of recovery or old age. Now someone is temporarily ill, he cannot do that. He has to wait for his illness to go away, being recovered from his illness, and then he fasts 60 days. Okay, so this is the third option if anyone is genuinely not able to do 60 fasts. Now, how do we do? For example, if a person broke 3 or 4 days in 1 year, do they have to multiply them by 60? No. For example, it's in 2024, someone broke 3 fasts intentionally. So what he has to do? He has to fast 60 days for breaking the fast in that year, plus 3 days. So 63, total 63. 60 for kafara and 3 days for qada only. Okay, so 63 days. Now someone broke some fast in 2023 and some more fast in 2024. Then for 2023 they have to do 60 plus those days they missed. For 2024 another 60 plus those days they missed. So for 1 year, one kafara. For 1 year, one kafara. Not for each fast, or rather for each year, one kafara plus the missed days, qada days. A person will do qada of the last, a person will do qada of the fast he broke, and thereafter start the 60-day kafara. So when you do kafara, first you do your qada one. So you missed, you broke one fast in a month of Ramadan, you just do this one first, and then you start your 60. So qada and the kafara doesn't have to be together. So someone, for example, broke 5 fasts in a year. Okay, so what he has to do, he has to fast these 5 days. They don't have to be consecutive in any day, any month you want. And then when you start your kafara, those 60 has to be consecutive. The qada doesn't have to be consecutive, and the qada doesn't have to be together with a kafara. Kafara can be done separately, qada can be done separately. For kafara is 60 days consecutive when you start, these 60 days not together. 1 day qada for the broken fast and 60 days consecutive fast as kafara, as we mentioned. Now the things that will not invalidate our fast, we mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever forgets he is fasting and eats or drinks, let him complete his fast, for it is Allah who has fed him and given him drink. So if a person forgets to his fasting and eat or drink, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioning that it is Allah who fed him or give him drink. Subhanallah. So yes, from Allah. You ate by forgetting, or you drunk out of forgetfulness. Don't worry about it. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who allowed you to have it. This hadith from Sahih Bukhari. Now another tip for us, that if you woke up and you saw, for example, your wife is eating, and she is fasting. Now she is eating out of forgetfulness. What do you do? If you see that she is healthy, she is she does not have any difficulty to fast, then you immediately remind them, why you're eating or fasting, so that they can throw it out and do not continue eating. However, you see someone very elderly, for example, your father or your mother, they're very elderly, very weak or very ill, and they're fasting. They woke up and they started eating out of forgetfulness. What do you do? In that case, you do not remind them. You allow them to eat or drink. You just walk away. It will not affect their fast. You will not be also responsible. You will not be sinful, responsible, and it will also affect their fast. It is because Allah is allowing to have them out of forgetfulness, because of their forgetfulness, and it will not affect their fast, and it will be helpful for them as well. Okay. Now the things that will not does not invalidate our fast. Number 1, swallowing one's own saliva and the wetness that remains after washing the mouth. So you are swallowing your own saliva, or after doing wudu, the moistness you find in our mouth. If it goes inside our throat or mouth, stomach, it does not affect our fasting. Sniffing up mucus, even if it is descends in the throat. So if someone has illness or something, they sniff their mucus, it goes through the throat, still it will not break their fast. Okay, it does not affect their fast. Inhaling smoke or dust unintentionally. Inhaling smoke or dust unintentionally. So the sun, wind, and some dust come into your nose or mouth, or it goes through your nose, or some, for example, you inhale some smoke, but you did not do intentionally. It goes anywhere. It will not break your fast. Starting the fast in the state of major ritual impurity. So if anyone woke up when they had ghusl obligatory upon them, and they did not do ghusl before Fajr, it does not affect their fast. The fast is valid. They must continue their fast. Injection blood transfusion, kidney dialysis, glucose or saline drip, this also will not break or affect our fasts. So injection, blood transfusion, kidney dialysis, glucose or saline drip, these are the modern ruling. The scholars mentioned these are okay. It will not break your fast or affect your fast. Blood test or cupping or any form of blood extraction. So if anyone does hijama or takes blood out because for testing, or if anyone donate blood to somebody while in the fasting, it will not affect their fast. It will not break their fast. Tooth extraction subject to not swallowing the blood or medicine. If anyone has to take their, has to go through their tooth removal while in fasting, it will not break their fast as long as no medicine or blood goes into their throat. So if medicine or blood does not go into your throat, it will not affect your fasting. We'll allow you question in a bit, inshallah. Miswak or toothbrush. So if using miswak or toothbrush will not affect your fasting. However, toothpaste should be avoided for risk of being swallowed. So if you do a brush without a toothpaste, it will not affect your fasting. Swimming or submerging body in water without swallowing water. So you are allowed to swim or wash your body. However, as long as water does not goes through your throat, you do not swallow any water. Fall down from your pocket. Tasting food, we mentioned that, provided not swallowed, it's allowed if someone has to do it, but it will not, as long as they do not swallow it, you have to spit it out if you have to taste. For mothers, in olden days, nowadays we do have so many things, blenders and stuff. In olden days, when we have a baby, they had to chew the food for them to make them soft. It is allowed in Ramadan if a mother has to chew the food for the baby in the month of Ramadan, as long as they do not eat it or swallow it. They have to they are not allowed to swallow it. Okay, now I'm going to mention some frequently asked questions regarding Ramadan. Does vomiting break my fast? Anyone from the back? Does vomiting break my fast? Okay, let's see. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, 3 things do not break the fast of the fasting person: coughing, vomiting, and the wet dream. So if anyone has coughing, means hijama, vomiting unintentionally, and a wet dream, it will not break their fast. Okay, so wet dream is for boys or girls when they reach puberty. They may have some dream that causes them ejaculate, and because it's in their sleep, it make ghusl obligatory. When they wake up, they have to do ghusl before touching Quran, reading Quran, or performing salah. And if they have it while they're sleeping in Ramadan, in the month of Ramadan, daytime, it will not affect their fast. Obviously, they have to wake up and do ghusl when they wake up, but it will not affect their fasting. Okay, now rules pertaining to vomiting. Vomiting can be of 2 types: intentional, unintentional. So if anyone does vomiting intentionally, mouthful, then fast will be invalid. It will break their fast, and they have to do qada only, not kafara. So someone puts their fingers into their throat and make themselves vomit, and this is called intentional, isn't it? If anyone does it, and if it is mouthful, then it will break the fast. If someone puts their finger into their throat and vomit, however, it is not mouthful, it will not break their fast. Fast is okay. Unintentional is without any for illnesses or sicknesses, without you wanted to vomit. If anyone does vomiting, whether mouthful or not a mouthful, the fasting will not be affected. So if anyone does vomit unintentionally, it will not affect their fasting. In whatever scenario a person vomits, if a person deliberately swallows vomit back down the throat, the fast will break. So whether intentionally or unintentionally, you vomited little bit or more, and then from your mouth you intentionally put that back to your throat, it will affect your fast. Yes. Okay, now how does one decide when vomiting is a mouthful? Okay, if it is mouthful or not mouthful, it's a very important scenario to decide if your fasting is affected or not. The definition of mouthful vomiting is that which one cannot hold back in one's mouth without difficulty. So much that you cannot hold in your mouth without difficulty is will be known as mouthful. Another question: a little amount of vomit went up my throat, then as a reflex action it went back down. I felt I had no control over it. Does my fast break? Sometimes you in the month of Ramadan, maybe you warp and some food came out from your throat, and then it went back down again. You did not have any control over it. You could not put it back. Will it break my fast? Anyone from back? Will it break my fast? So we mentioned that you don't have control over it. That means it's not intentional. So it will not break your fast. Another question: can I swallow bits of food left between the teeth? So you woke up and you saw some piece of a chocolate or crisp still in between your teeth. Okay. Now are you allowed to swallow them back? Will it affect your fast? Someone said no, someone said yes. Let's see. If the particle is similar than is smaller than a chickpea in size. Do you know chickpea? Yes. So if the particle is smaller than a chickpea in size, then fast will remain valid. Although you swallow it from between your teeth, your fasting is still valid. However, if it is something equal to or bigger than a chickpea, fast will be invalid. Only qada is necessary, not kaffara. So if you do it intentionally, swallow it, your fasting will be broken. You have to make it up after Ramadan. If food left between the teeth is taken out of the mouth and is thereafter swallowed, then it will break the fast. In this case, qada and kaffara will be necessary. So some food was in between your teeth, you put it out, and then you put it back again, and swallow it. It will break your fast, and you have to do qada and kaffara, both qada and kaffara. Does applying eardrops or eye drops break one's fast? If you put eardrops or eye drops, will it break your fast? No, the fast will remain valid. However, if anyone's eardrum is perforated, meaning if anyone's eardrum is affected and has perforated, and they put water or oil through their ear, it will break their fast. Okay, so if anyone has their eardrum perforated, they would know it. It could be because of illness or something. Okay, do nasal spray breaks one's fast if you use nasal spray? Okay, general principle: if a person uses a nasal spray, his fast will become nullified and will have to do qada. So if anyone, because of any illnesses, they has to use nasal spray, it will break your fast, and you have to make a qada only. What is the solution for the people? They have to use nasal spray in the month of Ramadan. If they have some kind of illnesses, then you should consult a doctor and ask whether the same medication can be applied by means of a cotton swab to the inner lining of the nose. So you just put inner line of the nose, not spraying. In this manner, the medication will not traverse beyond the nasal tissue. This is an area that the medication can be applied without it breaking your fast. So if anyone has this condition, they should consult a doctor and see that. Deodorants and perfumes. People use for body spray, things like this. Does it affect your fast? Aerosol sprays have a defined body due to the vapors contained therein. If while applying the sprays, it goes down the throat, it will break one's fast. So while using the body spray, if this spray goes through your throat, it will break your fast. Okay? If someone else is spraying and the vapors go down your throat unintentionally, then your fast will not break. So someone else is spraying next to you and some of the spray goes into your mouth and through your throat, it will not break your fast. One should exercise caution in using any substances that may risk one's fast. You are allowed to use it. However, you have to be very, very careful while using the body spray that it does not go into your mouth and it does not go through your throat. I'll allow you the time for questions. Is that okay? Smoking. Smoking cigarettes, shisha, and other similar items will break one's fast. And qada and kaffara are both necessary. Okay, so now someone is cooking and some smoke coming out. If you have it intentionally, it will just break your fast and qada will be necessary. However, smoking, it will break your fast, and qada and kaffara both will be necessary, because smoking from while cooking, it is not someone's people's practice. It's as a food or diet or something. However, when people smoke, they do it intentionally, and this is how people's practices are. So it will invalidate the fast, and qada and kaffara both will be obligatory. Rules pertaining to asthma pump. So if people have asthma and they have to have inhaler, what is the ruling of inhaler? Okay, using an asthma pump while fasting will invalidate the fast, and qada will be necessary, not kaffara. So if someone is ill and they need asthma pump, if they must use it, they should use it, and it will break their fast. They have to make it up after Ramadan, whenever they can. Okay, earlier scholars, they have said, asthma pump does not break fasting because it's just air. However, the modern science and modern scholars say asthma pump has medicine with it. It's not just air, rather it has medicine substances with it. So because of the physical body, it goes to the throat, it will break your fast. You have to make it up. You don't have to do kaffara, you have to just qada only. Now, if a person cannot fast at all without using an asthma pump, he may use it and perform qada of those days when he can fast without having to use an asthma pump. Okay, so for example, in short days, someone is very asthmatic, they have to use asthma after a few hours. They should try in short days to make them up qada. However, if they are not even able to do that in short days, then they are excused permanently, and they have to do fidya, not kafara, it's fidya. Yeah, so feeding, giving a similar meal of fitra to a poor person. Kafara is uquba, and fidya is like excuse. Yes, yeah. Okay, does taking injection break one's fast? When you put injection, you put medicine through your body, isn't it? Does it break your fasting? Okay, someone said yes, someone said no. Let's see. No. The fast will remain valid if you use injection. What are the rulings pertaining to menstruation whilst fasting? For the women or the monthly diseases, there's monthly bleeding or their face, period or menstruation. What is the ruling through that? Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radhiyallahu anha reported that we passed through this period of menstruation and we are ordered to complete the fasts later, but we were not ordered to complete the prayers. So for sisters, ladies, they will not be praying or fasting in those days of the month. However, they have to make up the fasts, but they don't have to make up the prayers. Salah is excused, however, fasts have to be made up. Now, some ruling regarding the woman menstruation. A woman may experience the following three situations in the month of Ramadan. Number one, Ramadan has begun and she was already in the state of menstruation. She may eat in a manner that no fasting person sees her eating. So, Ramadan starts and she is already menstruating. She will not be fasting. She has to eat throughout the day. However, she eats secretly without showing people. Yes. Number two, menstruation starts during the days of Ramadan. So she started her fasting in the morning, midday. She realized that she has started her menstruation. In that case, she must eat in a manner that no fasting person sees her. It is incorrect to refrain from eating to create a likeness with those that are fasting. So whenever her menstruation starts, even in the daytime, she should go and eat something. Or she should not go without eating or drinking until sunset, because she is not fasting. However, all the time when she eats or drinks, she do it secretly without showing people, for the adab of Ramadan. Number three, menstruation stops during the day. So someone having menstruation 3, 5, 7, 8, 9 days, as many days they have their habit. After that, they become clean, and it was the day of the Ramadan, in the daytime of Ramadan. For example, they were eating in the morning. After Zuhur, they are clean. They are not menstruating anymore. So they must conduct herself like a fasting person for the remainder of the day. So from that time, she became clean. From that time up until sunset, she does not eat or drink anything anymore until sunset. And however, she has to make up that day. She has to make up that day. She has to make up the qada. Okay, does a nursing woman need to fast? Meaning a breastfeeding woman with a little baby, if they breastfeed, do they have to fast? If a nursing or breastfeeding mother fears that she or her child's health will be endangered by her fasting, then she will be excused from fasting that day and will have to do qada after Ramadan. So if it is harmful for the baby or for the mother, she is allowed to break her fast and eat or drink. Okay? And however, she has to make it up after Ramadan. For the same reasons, a pregnant woman will be excused from fasting as well. So if a pregnant woman find, or the righteous expert doctor says that, if you fast, your baby will be in harm or your health will be in risk, then she is allowed to break her fast and eat and drink in the month of Ramadan. However, she has to make it up afterwards. However, if it is not harmful or risky for the baby or for the mother, she should fast in the whether she is pregnant or whether she is breastfeeding, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that the reward of fasting in the month of Ramadan cannot be attained by fasting throughout your life. Throughout your life, fasting one day in the month of Ramadan. So we have seen, alhamdulillah, practices of many Muslim, most of the Muslim women, alhamdulillah, they can go through either breastfeeding time or pregnant time without breaking their fast. They can fast in the month of Ramadan. However, for if there is cases like this, someone has this risk mentioned by a doctor, then they will be excused. Does one have to perform the qada fasts immediately after Ramadan? So someone was ill, could not fast 3-4 days, or broke the fast accidentally, as we mentioned some of the things. Do they have to do immediately after Ramadan? No, it is not necessary to do it immediately after Ramadan. However, it is recommended to complete the missed fasts of Ramadan as soon as possible. Why? Because you don't know how long you will be living. Okay, so it's better to do as soon as possible. However, if, for example, if someone does not fast in Shawwal or after Dhul Qada, Dhul Hijjah, he fast in next year, it will be okay, and he'll not be sinful for delaying till Sha'ban. Yeah. However, even someone delays is after next Ramadan, still they have to count them and make them up even afterwards. Can we keep eating and drinking until the recitation of the adhan ends? This is the question many people ask, and it's a misconception I've seen in Bangladesh. Many a time people does it. Okay, after whenever Sahri ends, Fajr times begins, Muaddin gives azan. Are we allowed to eat until the azan ends? No. Good answer. Yes. A person must stop eating and drinking by the time Fajr begins. Dukhul al-waqt. Whenever time comes in, that's it. Sahri ends. Okay? No matter whether the adhan is being recited or not. So adhan is recited after the Fajr starts. So for example, if Fajr starts today is 5:50, adhan would be done either 5:50 or after 5:50. So your suhoor does not relate to adhan at all. Your suhoor relate to the sahri time ending time. So you check the ending time, and you finish your food, swallowing whatever in your mouth before that time comes in. That's it. Can I have the blood test while fasting? Yes. Blood test does not affect your fast or donating blood. I have not fasted all my life. Some people are like this. They are not practicing Muslim, for example. Okay, and some after years they realize that I'm being wrong. I need to start practicing deen and start fasting. Do I need to keep both qada and kaffara? For example, someone started fasting from when they are 20 years old, so they did not fast all those years of their life. Do they have to do kaffara for not fasting those years? Okay, answer is no. Only qada is necessary. They don't have to do kaffara because they are not practicing, and to make it easy for themselves, for them, Islam it becomes easier than us. You just do the qada one. So you could not fast for 10 years, or you did not fast for 10 years because you are not practicing Muslim. Now you're practicing. What you do? That, just make qada of those days, no kaffara. For a non-Muslim who converts to Islam, maybe they are 30 years old, they never fasted before, do they have to make qada? No. Because a non-Muslim, whenever they accept Islam, this is the time everything becomes obligatory upon them. Whatever happened before, Allah forgives everything. For a non-Muslim, whenever they repent to Allah, or when they accept Islam, whatever happened before, everything is forgiven. Now, fasting on an aeroplane. One does not need to fast, but is given immense reward for doing so. So while you're traveling, if it is more than 48 miles, then you are a musafir, you are a traveler, you are a shari'i traveler, and fasting is not obligatory upon a traveler. It is excused, or not excused, like you have option to fast or not fast. Okay. However, fasting is better, as Allah mentioned in the Quran. وَأَن تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. If you fast, then it's better for you. Allah mentioned in the Quran while you're traveling. So if anyone wants to, they have got option. If one wants to break it, they can break it. However, they have to make it up after Ramadan. For aeroplane, because you are going from England, for example, you are going to Saudi Arabia or Bangladesh, you are going towards Western country, towards Eastern countries. How do you find out your Maghrib time? So the ruling is a person will base his fast on the time zone of the area the plane is currently flying through. Use the flight magazine, which has time zones of different countries at the back of the magazine. Ask the stewards the timing of Subh Sadiq and ensure that you have had suhoor prior to dawn. So for example, you had your suhoor in Manchester, you're flying towards Bangladesh. After 3-4 hours, you'll see sunset. Isn't it? You'll see sunset because you're going towards eastern countries, sun setting those way. So whenever you see sunset, it is your suhoor, iftar time. Doesn't matter how many hours you did. That day is valid. Similarly, if anyone is traveling other way around and the days goes longer and longer, they cannot break it until the sun sets and the sun sets. So if it is a hardship, they are allowed to break their fast and they just make it up afterwards. Okay, now the people who are exempt from fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran about fasting. He said, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Those whoever among you is ill or on a journey, then an equal number of days are to be made up. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the people who are excused in this ayah. And then Allah said, وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. Those who are unable to fast, For them, they have to give fidya to miskin. Those who are unable to fast completely, for them fidya. What is fidya? Fidya is an amount equivalent to sadaqatul fitr, which is given on the day of Eid to miskin, and is given in exchange of keeping fasts. So for each fast, you have to give one sadaqatul fitr. In our country this year, we have suggested £6 per head. Fitra is £6. Sadaqatul fitr is £6. So for the people who have to give fidya, they have to give for each fast £6. Okay, for an ill person, as long as the condition remains chronic, such that a person cannot fast either in Ramadan or make it up later, they will continue to give fidya instead of fasting. However, if the condition improves in the future to the point where a person is able to fast, then they will have to make up all those fasts by fasting, even if their fidya was paid. So someone is ill, temporarily. You had a heart attack, you had to go through the bypass operation, you had to go through the bypass operation in Ramadan, and you are not able to fast for a few days. Now you don't give fidya. You don't have to give, you should not give fidya. You wait until you recovered from your illness. When you are better, you just make up those days you missed. Even the whole month, you just make up these 30 days. Fidya is for the people who are chronically ill. They are not able to recover from their illnesses, or the people who cannot fast throughout the year, and they do not have any hope of becoming better and able to fast. For these people, they will be paying fidya. Okay. Now, some of the du'as that we do in the month of Ramadan, du'as to recite after iftar, as mentioned in the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu teach us 2 du'as. When we immediately break our fast, we say, Allahumma laka sumtu, Ya Allah, I have fasted for you, wa ala rizqika aftartu, and with your sustenance I completed my fast. Some scholars added some other words as well. Allahumma laka sumtu wa bika amantu wa alayka tawakkaltu wa ala rizqika aftartu. It's good if you want to recite that like that. And after eating little bit, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would read another dua. It's a beautiful dua, and he would say, ذهب الظمأ وابتلت العروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله. He would say, the thirst has gone, the veins are moistened, and the reward is established, inshallah. So beautiful dua, isn't it? So the thirst has gone, the veins are refreshed, and the rewards are established, inshallah. Okay, so we'll be finishing here now. Just very briefly, we'll mention 2-3 virtues of Ramadan. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in one of his speech, his khutbah, that there has come to you Ramadan, a blessed month which Allah has enjoined you to fast. During it, the gates of heaven are open and the gates of hell are closed, and the rebellious devils are chained up. In it, there is a night which is better than 1,000 months, and whoever is deprived from its goodness is indeed deprived. This is the greatness of the month of Ramadan. The heavens, the doors of heavens are open. That doors of hellfire are closed. Shaitan is chained up. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings blessings and mercy and forgiveness in this month. About the fasting, Rasulullah sallallahu mentioned, whoever fasts Ramadan with faith and in the hope of reward, his previous sins will be forgiven. Subhanallah. So if anyone fasts with hope and reward, Allah will forgive all his previous sins. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that Allah said in the Hadith Qudsi, every good deed of the son of Adam is for him, except for fasting, it is for me and I shall reward for it. In Hadith in Sahih Bukhari. So subhanallah, the reward of fasting will be given by Allah himself. We don't know how much. However, when Allah said he will give himself, you can imagine it will not be little. We find virtues of feeding iftar. In the month of Ramadan, we are recommended to feed iftar to people. Rasulullah sallallahu mentioned, he who gives food to a fasting person will receive the same reward as him, subhanallah, without diminishing the reward of the fasting person in any way. Allah will not lessen his reward, give both the same reward, subhanallah. About suhoor, Rasulullah mentioned, verily Allah and his malaika, inna Allah wa malaikatahu, indeed Allah and his malaika angels send mercy upon those who eat sahri or suhoor, subhanallah. Some people say, oh, I don't need to eat a suhoor, I'm capable of fasting without suhoor. However, it is not something to be proud of. Rasulullah mentioned, if you wake up for suhoor, or if you have suhoor at the last portion of the night, angels and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself send mercy upon these people. Subhanallah. Yeah. There's another hadith. He said, eat sahri because there is barakah in suhoor. Eat suhoor because there is barakah in suhoor. However, for suhoor, obviously the scholars mention not to have too much. You have a little food. Rasulullah used to eat dates or milk, things like this. Yeah, little light food. Okay, the last thing I would mention today is spirituality in fasting. Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi mentioned the fast can be 3 types, or the fasting people can be of 3 types. Third one are the fast of the masses, general people, all public masses people. For them, the least of them is that one abstains from those things that break the fast, all the while not preventing his limbs from that which is disliked. So he just kept his stomach away from food or drink. However, he did not protect or prevent his eyes from looking into haram. He did not prevent his hands from doing haram. He did not prevent his feet walking to haram. So this is the lowest level of fasting. That you just stay away from food and drink. That's it. However, you're lying, you're backbiting, you are doing this. This is the lowest level of fasting. The second level of fasting, the fast of the righteous people. The second level is when you add to it prevention of the limbs. Hence, you guard the tongue from backbiting and the eye from looking at doubtful things, as well as guarding the rest of the body parts. So you don't only fast through your stomach, you also fast with your eyes, your ear, your nose, your hands, your feet, your tongue. So by this you protect your fast. This is the second level, better than the third one. And the fast of the elect and the elite people, the fast of the righteous people, the most highest like prophets and very high level of people, for their fast. The third level, which is the actually first level in height, is when you add to it the maintenance of the heart from bad thoughts and whispering. So you don't only protect your hands and body and limbs, also you protect your hearts, your minds, your soul from thinking about something wrong, thinking about something haram, thinking about doing something wrong to some other people. And you keep busy in remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the fast of the elect, the elite, and it is the perfection of the fast. Obviously, for like people like us, will not be able to always remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and always keep our mind and soul away from thinking something not right. However, we should try as much as we can. Out of 24 hours, as many hours and minutes and moment we can protect ourselves. So everyone should try for the best level of fasting, inshallah. Now, any question? Yes. So as long as you do not swallow it. So the question is, if you go for a dentist appointment, they put some medicine into your teeth, into your mouth, when they clean or when they check it. If you taste in your tongue, does it break your fast? No, as long